Favorite part about this podcast is when I'm interviewing someone who is almost the unsung hero, who doesn't get talked about a lot, who is not famous, drop big, huge bombs like, oh, and by the way, we made more money in 1 month than my husband did in an entire year. What? Get ready, because we're diving in to Sarah Walsh and this exact story on how she was able to do this. She's not famous yet. I'm going to say yet out there. And she's able to create this massive income. And we're going to talk about what she's selling it and how she's doing it. Let's go. Welcome back to today's podcast episode. We're diving in with Sarah Walsh today. She is a part of the 0 to 100K system. And the other day I was talking to Julie Porter, who's my executive assistant, AKA, I swear, my right hand lady in all things. And I'm like, hey, have you seen any really cool stories that have come through in our private Facebook group? And she's like, yes, I need to show you Sarah. Sarah just crossed the $100,000 mark, and her story sounds pretty darn cool. So we reached out to her. We got her onto today's podcast, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to call Julie right after this, that I record this, sing her praises for finding Sarah. Her story is inspirational. Her story is powerful. And she's going to talk about how she decided to start a printing company and has been able to create some amazing wealth and freedom in her life. And we're going to dive into it. She's also going to talk, this is one of my favorite parts, about what she wished she would have known as she started to grow her business and as it started to scale. And honestly, I think it is absolutely brilliant. So you've got to pay attention, and especially at the end where she reveals that. And then don't forget to stick around because dun, 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 I'm going to give you my top 10, nope, 8 today, top 8 takeaways from all the goodness that she spills. Oh, and then will you do me a favor? Will you go follow her on Instagram? She's going to give you her Instagram account at the end and just say that you found her from this podcast episode. Let's give her some love back for being so open and sharing so much good information with us. Let's go spoil her a little bit. All right, let's dive into today's podcast with Sarah. All right, Sarah, thank you so much for joining me on today's podcast episode. I am so grateful you are here because your story isn't just kind of cool, like it is mind-blowing. So will you tell everybody what you do, and then we'll get into the backstory and the whys and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So my husband and I run and own Family Nest Printing, and our niche is homeschool families. So we print curriculum for homeschool families. So they will buy whatever PDF they buy, they can send that to us, and then we print it for them, and we can like coil bind books and laminate, 3-hole punch, whatever it is that they want. So that's our business.
Do you create the homeschool information?
The curriculum?
Yeah.
No, we do not. They will buy that. Like different curriculum companies will have PDF options. And so instead of buying like a hard copy, they can buy a PDF copy. And that is what they send to us.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah. So you're not sitting there with like thousands of different grades and all
no
curriculum pieces.
No.
You're literally just printing it and then shipping it for companies.
Yes, that's correct.
Perfect. Yep. Okay. So how long have you been in business? It's not been like a family business for never, right?
Mm-mm. No, we started, I think we opened in July of 2019. So we had the idea back in February of 2019, and then we opened in July. So this year it'll be 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why did you choose printing of all the different options out there? Why printing?
Just kind of another idea that we had. So we have tried different things. And we were actually my husband and I were on vacation in Florida when we had the idea, and we were actually talking to his uncle, and he was in the ink business for a while, and he'd started different businesses. And so we were just talking about business, and he was like, well, what could you do? And I was like, well, I could print for homeschool families. And he was like, okay, yeah. And so it just kind of snowballed from there.
Did you have the printers when you first got started, or was that an investment?
No, we did not. We actually started with like desktop printers, like just the printers you could go buy at the store.
Like $100 printer and like, what is it? Like $100 in ink? The ink costs way.
Yeah. We started with those printers, and that did not last long because we always laugh because we were like, how did we think that we could like run on those small printers? Because it was like a big headache at times, and we ran into problems. So we just kept having to upgrade until we bought our commercial copiers. So,
but I love that you started. I mean, your commercial copiers, I'm sure, are not like $100. I'm sure there's a few more zeros behind it. But said, let's just test this with something small, and then you grew into it so you could afford your printers, right?
Yes. Yeah. And his uncle, he gave us like, he wanted to help us start. So he gave us like a small amount. It was maybe $1,000 or so to like help us get started and get the equipment we wanted, which was so nice of him. I know not everyone has that, but we're grateful for that. And so we bought those printers and stuff. And then, as we grew, we purchased the other equipment ourselves. So.
Okay, so how did you find your first customer? Because it's not like you can go post on a marketplace or on Etsy. Like you've got a very niche type product. Yeah. How did you get your first customer?
So I followed the course that you have, 0 to 100K, and yes, and it works. So I was reaching out to bloggers. I know like a lot of homeschoolers, they will follow homeschool blogs. So that is where I started, and people that would share a coupon code or just share about us. So that's how we started getting our name out there. And that's how people found out about us for that first year and on.
Okay. So you started off like the first day or the first week that you launched, maybe in the first month. Yeah. How many orders did you have coming in like the first month ish?
Oh gosh. I honestly don't remember how many orders we had coming in that first month. It wasn't like, I think like the first year-ish, I don't know, I'm better with like amounts. Like we were probably around 20,000 or so in orders, like that first year from like July to December. And I don't remember how many orders exactly. We weren't on Shopify yet, so I didn't have like a way to track those orders very well.
What were you on? How are you getting the sales?
So I opened a website with WordPress and that is what I knew and what I had done whenever I had a blog. So I opened a store on WordPress and that did not work very well. And so as soon as it was a headache. And so as more and more people were coming to our site, like it was just, we were having a lot of issues. And so we needed to find someone to help us make a custom order form on Shopify because our order form is, it's just very custom and it's just very detailed. And so that took us about maybe 8 months before we found someone that could actually really help us. And so they got all that going and they got our custom order form made. And by when was it? It was June of 2020 that launched. And that was just, that was amazing to have.
And then that helped you with automation because WordPress, WooCommerce.
I can't remember what I was using.
Okay.
I think so. I think it was. And I had to use like a third party app to make our order form and that just wasn't working. And so Shopify has just been amazing.
When people are like, I think I'm going to do WooCommerce. And I'm like, can I kind of talk out of it?
Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it. It's not worth it.
On there. It's not fun. Not fun.
Yeah. No.
Let's speed it up today. What's your order volume now?
I'm better with amounts if that's okay. As far as like dollar amounts. Is that okay? Instead of order numbers?
Totally.
Okay. So like now we're probably averaging around 15,000 a month, in orders. That will definitely be larger here in these next few months, in our busy season. Our busy season is in the summertime. So we went from like
slow season and you're doing $15,000 a month. And 2 years ago.
Yes. I mean, we are blown away by that.
Huge celebration. Woo-hoo!
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. We are, it's just kind of like a dream come true or like becoming reality.
Totally. Are you starting to feel like a legit business owner?
Sure. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That took me probably, I don't know, 6 years to feel that.
I was going to say, I don't know. I still just feel like a regular, person, but.
Yep. Okay. No, you're running this business while you're homeschooling. So is this why, I'm going to help the homeschooling moms? Because you could have printed anything you wanted to. You could have done business cards. You could have done calendars.
Yes.
Is that the sole purpose or the sole reason why you got into homeschooling?
Yeah, because we are a homeschool family, we did know that there was a need in the homeschool community. So we knew the need, and printing, if you go to, your local printing store, like a FedEx or UPS, like a big name, it is going to cost you a lot of money to get items printed. And then also we found that our customers, a lot of them do not like dealing with printing at home either, because it's also a pain. It's cheaper, but it's a pain. And so we just knew that there was a need. And so we were able to help meet that need with this business. So
okay, so how do you balance it? Can we go to there? Like, you're doing 15,000 a month. You got your printers running. I'm sure you had to like silence them for this podcast interview because they're not quiet.
Yeah, they're not on right now. Yes.
You're running a business and you're homeschooling. Can you talk about that balance?
So it's been nice. We've homeschooled for 10 years, and my husband was able to leave his day job last year when we got really busy. Yes, I know. We thank God for that. And so it's the first time in 10 years, and with the business and stuff, that we're actually able to kind of split that responsibility up a little bit. And so that's been recently, it's been really nice. He'll do like history and science and math. Then I take care of all the rest. And so that is a big help. But before that, like before he was home, like I would do school with the kids, like in the morning, a little bit in the afternoon if I needed to. And then I would work in the afternoon, sometimes in the evening. Patrick would be home with the kids and I'd leave the house to go work and just get things going. And I don't think there ever is like a perfect balance. And so you just kind of do it. I think if you want it bad enough, then you just will find the time to do it, and get that work in.
So you want to know a secret?
Yeah.
Next year we're homeschooling our little guys.
Are you really?
Scared the crud out of me. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome though. Oh, I always get excited hearing about people.
I am so excited to check out your website because I've been asking a couple friends on how to do it. And then I'm talking with Jared, like, how are we going to balance this? Like, we run multiple businesses. We live in Puerto Rico. How in the world are we going to do this? So it's so fun to see a successful mom, homeschooler family knock this out of the park. Yes. So I'm so glad you're sharing this. So glad you're sharing with us. Okay, so
definitely.
You mentioned earlier that this is your slower season and then you go into a busy season. If this is your slow season, like what are you doing to create sales in a slow season to keep that revenue happening?
We are right now, that is all in like print orders that we're getting.
Okay.
But we're always like, I'm looking for new products to create. I always have like, I feel like we get new ideas. And so we're actually getting ready to launch another website. And so we're like going to launch a dry erase calendar business. And so we have that going that will generate income. And we save like our biggest sales for like during the slow season. That's another thing that kind of brings some money in. Yes. Yeah. So that
like Amazon Prime Day, right? Like there's in July and they're like, we're going to create our own Black Friday special now.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we save those for like off months. That way it will encourage people to buy, and they do. Our customers love a discount code, like most everyone's customers, but like if it's 10% off, I mean, they go crazy. Like they any discount code, they love it. But we will do bigger than that in our off season.
Sorry, this new business that you're doing is going to be completely separate?
Yes.
Or you're not going to wiggle it in?
We might put them up on our website, but we're not for sure if those customers will want to buy that product. So we might test it out. But yeah.
Okay.
So, and then we also just set aside money from like the busy season. We set aside money to last us for the slower seasons, just for personal finances and budgeting as well. Yes. And that's also what helps us. So,
yes.
So yeah.
That's so important. So important.
Yes.
It breaks my heart when I see entrepreneurs make money and they go spend every single thing. And I'm like,
yeah,
oh, those are the seeds. Plant those seeds so you can harvest. Oh,
definitely. Yes, definitely.
Do you have a subscription model?
Oh, like where they can subscribe to something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, we actually just launched a membership. So our customers can sign up. They pay an annual fee and they get perks like they get free media mail shipping on all orders over $10, and they always get 10% off. They get exclusive sales. We have like a VIP Facebook group. So we just launched that 2 months ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. It's $52.99 for the year.
$52.99. That's such an interesting number.
Mm-hmm.
Why 52 and not like $49.99 or $54.99?
We wanted to do that because I was thinking I didn't want to like price it too high. This was the first time that we'd done it, and so we didn't want to price it too high, but we didn't want to price it too low so that we could also put it on sale. And so that's just kind of where we landed, because we didn't quite want to go as high as $54.99 or even $59.99, but we didn't want to go down into the 40s. And so we just kind of landed in the middle there. Yeah. So,
and then how many do you have in that membership site?
Right now we have, what is the last count? 80 people that have signed up so far.
So these are your diehard fans, right? Mm-hmm. This is like your tribe that you're building.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
So cool. Mm-hmm. And then you're just serving them better in a Facebook group. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah. So there's a Facebook group and they can chime in if they have any questions. We'll answer faster on that group page. My sister works with me. She works for us and she has been handling a lot of that. So they can get answers faster and they can ask questions on there. And we're trying to, it's actually something I need to work on, but what we'd like to have it is just more of a community and like a resource and stuff for the homeschool members. So
for sure. That would be very helpful.
Mm-hmm. It's on my to-do list.
Especially for people that have never done homeschool before. That would be very, very helpful. Okay. So what's something that you wish you would have known before you started a business, before you started this venture?
Yeah. I have a few things, but one thing is just knowing that like there will be failures and there will be mistakes and that's okay. And I think that we've really learned a lot from those, because last year our business just exploded is the way that I tell people when I'm telling them about last year. And I've heard you talk about how you want to grow slowly and like, so you don't get overwhelmed. Well, like ours did the complete, like it just all of a sudden, boom. And we were like, And so, but within that, there were some different mistakes that were made or different things. And so we've been able to learn from those things and it will help us this year and with this busy season and just moving forward. So just not like, when mistakes are made, just not freezing in your place, but just to keep on going and learn from those mistakes, put them into practice, and then keep moving.
I love that.
With what you've learned.
Don't freeze from your mistake. There's no room for that. How did you feel? How did you feel when you started to have all this growth? And you're thinking, how am I going to even handle the amount of orders, customer service, getting things out the door? Like, what were the thoughts or your heart? What was it saying?
I was like very stressed out. I think that was like the most stressed out I've been like ever. I don't know. I put a post in the group one night because I just felt like I was just getting burnout. I was like waking up in the morning and just kind of like dreading because I was like, oh, I have to go downstairs and print. And like we had to, which we were able to hire people to come in and help us. So we had people at our home a lot working for us, which was huge, so thankful for them. But yeah, a lot of stress, but excitement. Like I remember thinking like in July, that's when orders really just started like flooding in. And it was just like every day more and more. And then I started looking at totals and I was like, oh my gosh, Patrick, my husband, this is like already surpassing what you made in your day job in a year. And we are making this in a month. And we surpassed in 1 month what he made in a year at his job. And it just blew us away. So like with the stress, there was also a lot of excitement. So it was just kind of a crazy mix of emotions.
It is, right?
Sure.
It's like a roller coaster ride. Like you're seeing the potential of this. You're seeing that your husband can quit. You can live that freedom. Mm-hmm. But then on the opposite hand, you're like, oh my gosh, can I? So you started hiring people in. Tell us about that. Like, how did you hire? How did you know to hire them? And then how many do you have on your staff currently?
So right now we have of course, my husband and I, and then my sister, Sydney, she works for us. Oh,
and Sydney.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I love her. She's so thankful for her. But she does the printing right now. She does all our social media, and a lot of other things. She's even been handling like reaching out to influencers for me. So she's just been doing a lot of different things. Yes. It's awesome. And we're like, we always joke how we're like basically the same person. And so I know that like whatever she says, I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be fine. But for hiring last year, we reached out to like on my Facebook page, I reached out to like my personal one. I just told people that I knew that we were looking for help. And so that's how we found people last year. It was just people that we knew. And then my mom, she also came to help. So we had family and then friends that came in to print for us. So, and to assemble orders and ship them. So
love it. So, I found Facebook posts and your personal, or now that you have a community, you can look for hiring. Those are like places to hire because they're recommendations or they get tagged.
Yes.
And people know about your business a little bit. So you're not like back number one saying, this is what we do.
Right. So, yes.
We already love you.
Yes.
So much easier.
Yes. Definitely. Definitely.
Okay. So I heard that you may have something for our readers. Am I right on that?
Yes. We have a discount code. I believe it's because I can. Do you have it in front of you? I think it's because I can, and it should be, what was it, 25% off?
So the code is because I can 25 and it's 25%.
Okay. Perfect. Yep.
Okay. Isn't it so great that we have technology to help us remember what we wrote?
Yes, I know. Sorry. I forgot to look at it again before I came on here.
No worries. I think you like a few weeks ago. So I'm very impressed you got that far.
Yeah.
Okay. So where can people find you?
Our website is familynestprinting.com. And then we're also on Instagram and Facebook.
Nice. So, okay. Then I'm going to ask one last question. What piece of advice would you give to entrepreneurs? I know you already talked about don't let failing slow you down, but what's another piece of advice you'd give to a newbie entrepreneur or an entrepreneur that is starting to scale really fast?
Yes.
Let's do that one.
I would say like get all of your, and this sounds kind of like a no-brainer, but like get all your policies in place because we weren't as detailed as we could have been with all of our different like refund policies, shipping policies, all those different things. And we ran into trouble. And so, I would say just what we started adding to it as we came across problems. That's what we did as we were growing. And so I think sometimes you'll just even have to experience things to know maybe, oh, we need to put that in our policy. But if you can think about any type of situation that you might come across, decide how you want to handle that ahead of time, put it in your policy, and then you have that policy basically to back you up. Whereas you can tell the customer, I'm sorry, this is not in our policy and blah, 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 blah. So that is something that has been a huge relief to me and to my sister who does customer service and like just to be able to have that in place ahead of time. So
can you give us some of those policies just for some people that are like, I don't even know where to start? What are a couple of those policies?
Right. Well, like for us for printing, one of the things that we started doing is they had only 24 hours to cancel an order because these are like custom orders. And so we are buying what we need and all the supplies for all of these orders. And so that was something, because we had last year a bunch of people from one certain curriculum that would come to us. And then it turns out this place got their hardback copies back in stock. And so some of these people just wanted to cancel all these orders but we had already bought everything. And anyway, so we just put that on our site and we put it anywhere that, we put it on the order form page and then we put it on our policy page. So that's one of the things that we implemented. And we also we have route shipping insurance on our website and the customer can pay for that. And so we have a pop-up box for them. If they select that they don't want it, we have a pop-up that comes up and says, are you sure? Because, Family Nest Printing is not responsible for lost, damaged, stolen packages, because we were having some problems with that as well. And so we've just made it very clear to customers that once it leaves our hands, it's in the post office hands. And so, because some of these orders are very, very large. And so it's just wise to cover them. So, and cover ourselves. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Oh, what did you say? Okay.
So good. Oh my gosh. I love it. Thank you for all the information and just being so open, especially talking about numbers. I know that sometimes people are like, I don't want to talk numbers. And I'm like, but it's so fun.
So fun. Yes. Yes.
That you're able to create this income that you're like, you know what, let's make more than our husband makes in a year. Let's do it in a month. And then you're like, maybe one day, let's do it in a day. Right. Yes. You get to say those dreams and then they can actually become a reality versus you hoping your boss gives you a raise. So huge congratulations to you. And what was your husband again?
Patrick is his name. Yes.
Patrick. Congratulations, Patrick.
I'll tell him.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, coming in with today's top takeaways from Sarah. I have 7 for you today. Number 1, create sales during your slow seasons by giving out a promotion. Number 2, create sales during a slow season by launching a new product. Number 3, set aside money during the busy seasons to help support the slow seasons. Number 4, memberships. Memberships help you to build die-hard fans. Number 5, there's going to be failures, which leads to number 6, you better not freeze during those failures. Know that is the process. Number 7, don't be afraid to reach out on your personal Facebook feed for people to hire. You can get some really great recommendations. And number 8, and I love this one so much, get your policies in place. Get your policies in place. That way your whole team, all the people that you start hiring as you grow your business know exactly how to stay on the same page. Go follow Sarah and her business. Watch her journey. I'm excited to see her keep exploding with 2020 all showing us that virtual school is available and homeschool is available. I think this is the new thing. We're going into homeschooling. It's scaring me to death, but we're going to do it. We like the freedom that it offers. I actually really, really like being around my kids and traveling and going places that we want to. So anyway, I don't think it's a trend. I think it's here to stay for a long time. All right. I hope you love this podcast episode so much, and I'll see you next week.